Across the country, Americans are wondering what's going on in Washington this week. They want to know why it's taking so long to fund the government. As we meet here this afternoon, lawmakers on both sides continue to work towards an agreement that would keep the government running for the rest of the year. Americans want to know how we got to this point, and they deserve an answer. So here goes. Each year, the majority party in Congress is responsible for creating a budget plan that explains how they're going to pay for everything that the government does. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. Yet last year, Democratic leaders in Congress decided they didn't want to. They didn't want to publicly defend their bloated spending and the debt it's creating. So Republicans had to come up with temporary spending bills to keep the government running in absence of any alternatives and leadership from Democrats. Republicans even passed a bill in the House that would keep the government funded through the rest of the current fiscal year, and which takes an important first step towards a smaller, more efficient government that helps support the conditions for private sector job growth. This House bill would save us billions of dollars on our way to a conversation about trillions. And Congressman Ryan has done America's service by showcasing the conditions of the larger debate, by outlining a plan that would put us back on the path of stability. While thinking people see in the Ryan plan an honest attempt to tackle our problems, ideologues on the left only distort it, while offering no vision of their own to prevent a fiscal nightmare we all know is approaching. Furthermore, they still haven't presented an alternative to the Republican proposals we've seen to keep the government up and running in this current fiscal year. That's why the Republicans in the House have now proposed another bill this week that will fund the military for the rest of the year, keep the government operating, and get us a little closer to levels of spending that even the senior senator from New York has called reasonable. So let's be clear about something this afternoon. Throughout this entire debate, Republicans have not only said that we prefer a bipartisan agreement that funds the government, but also protects defense spending at a time when American troops are fighting in 2 wars. There's a Republican plan on the table right now, and I hope that they support it. Democrats can either accept that proposal or they can reject it. But they can't blame anyone but themselves if a shutdown occurs because they've done nothing to prevent it. Since they have produced no alternatives to the bill that the House is sending over today, this is the only proposal currently on the table that will keep the government open. Thus, we would hope that they support Speaker Boehner's bill and the $39 billion that he's proposing. So, there are 2 options at this point. Democrats can either pass this regional bill that falls well within the bounds of what they've mandated. This bill does everything Democrats have previously said they want. It cuts Washington spending by an amount that Democratic leaders believe is reasonable. The policy also contains provisions that have been previously agreed on by leaders and actually signed by the President. And most importantly, this is the only proposal out there that will keep the government open. Or they can shut down the government. That's it. That's the choice. So rather than talking about a shutdown, I hope our Democratic friends can actually join us in preventing one. There's one way to do that, by quickly passing the House bill and sending it to the President for a signature before tomorrow night.
And not really proposing an initiative of their own.
Right, well, like I said, we have proposed an initiative, and they're the ones that keep changing their minds on it. And so now they're trying to put it on us that we're not doing our job and we're not proposing an initiative, but we have done that, and we're sitting here telling them we can't afford to do that. And if they don't want to agree with us on that, then it's going to be on them that the shutdown happens. And they like to state that the same thing with the troops, that we're not sitting behind and supporting them, but we're not the ones that continuously change our minds on it. And we cannot afford, our country cannot afford for what the Republicans are asking for.
But wouldn't it be better to compromise instead of just say it's on them and then have the shutdown? Because isn't that
we're not trying to.
Where we're headed?
Well, yes, that is where we're headed, but we're not trying to state that it's on them. It's been a continuous problem between both parties, but now we're trying to state that we have given in, and we're looking at it from a standpoint of what will happen if we continue to give in to them. And they're not looking at what, like, they're looking short term and we're looking long term. And that's the biggest thing that we're trying to get them to look at. And if they don't want to do that, it's going to cause more problems. And if we give in, that's on us that we allow this to happen, and that's what we're trying to stop. We're trying to not allow for more jobs to get cut, us to continue to double dip. We want to stop the problem that we've already had and try to build from there. And if we continue to give in to the Republicans, that will not be something that's possible.
Given that the independent body, the Congressional Budget Office, is saying that they can't conceive of any way the economy can continue past 2037 when the debt will hit 800% of the GDP, why is it that you continue not to address the crisis of the spending cuts?
Because we're still recovering from that recession, and if we shock the economy like this, it's just the economy can't handle it. Especially with gas prices the current way they are and the unrest in Libya. Economists have been showing, like, hits $4 a gallon, we're going to double dip anyway. So if we have this kind of spending shock with these budget cuts that the Republicans want, we're only destined to a double dip recession and possibly a depression. So I don't know if you guys want that, but I don't.
In March, a bill was passed in the Senate, but stopped in the House that the President and Congress would both sacrifice their paychecks in the event of a government shutdown. Do you think the President would be willing to let that bill be passed if the government should shut down?
Well, I haven't talked to the President about that, but I mean, that sounds reasonable. The President's a wealthy man, and just like everyone in government, so I'm sure they'll be able to handle it.
Do you have any problem with the continuing resolution, which would also provide continuing payments to the military if there were a government shutdown in the future?
Well, we'd have to look at that. It's all about whether it'll hurt the economy. So, if we can work that out, we will. But really, that's just preventing the inevitable, and we really just want to get a complete solution done, and that's what's really important here. We shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck, as the President said, and that's just kind of keeping it up.
Do you think the criticized lack of leadership by the President and the Democratic Party is leading to the lack of compromise between the parties?
Not at all. The President has been very clear from the beginning, and it's really not about the President, it's about the Republicans. And the Republicans are just playing games with us, pandering to the Tea Party. They're extreme because, I really can't blame them. They're yelling in their ears, and they're their base. So we've been more than willing to come to a compromise. We're sticking to the compromise, and we're not going to give in to their games. So as soon as the Republicans want to come to the table, we'll be waiting.
Do you think that Obama is too distracted with his 2012 campaign to really help out to come up with a compromise?
Not at all. The 2012 campaign is still a long way out. We really declared the campaign just for financial reasons. The Republicans have already started off going for the presidency, and so we want to be able to too. So no, we don't. I don't think so at all.
Do you think the outcome of this will affect the polls later on?
You know what? I'm not going to speculate, but I know the American people want to see this solved. So if the president and the Republicans aren't able to come to a compromise, I see this. This could hurt us all.
Why are the Democrats calling the Republicans captives?
What is your camp? Sorry, I came out from the what does your camp plan to do if Obama does refuse to do the stopgap measure in an effort to make your camp compromise more? Do you think that you'll be able to compromise, or are you still going to just let the government shut down occur?
We do not want the government to shut down at all, but it's up to the Democrats. We have done the work. We have put the plan out there. It's just a matter of them willing to compromise.
So you don't plan on compromising anymore? It's either the stopgap now or what you've already proposed?
We have compromised to them. It's them that
You're at your final straw now.
Do you feel like this is a name game type thing? Like everyone seems to be pointing the finger?
We're willing to compromise with our main goal is to make sure that the government does not get shut down.
Do you think the President has a lack of leadership in the Democratic Party and therefore is affecting how they work and what compromises they come to?
No, I do not. I think the government, I do agree with some points of the government, but at this point, the Republicans have said what they wanted, and it's just a matter of Obama making the plans to make sure the government does not get shut down.
McConnell had said that the Ryan plan is what we need to support now, either the Ryan plan or a stopgap. Well, how would you respond to the Democratic accusations that the Ryan plan is a direct attack on the funds for the poor, such as Medicaid, and also slashing environmental programs and our energy budget?
The slashes that they're allocating is the ones that are best for the economy at that point, and I can just support the policy.
The economic situation is unclear right now.
Do you think the Republican Party is going to waver on their compromise on the budget again?
I'm sorry?
Do you think the Republican Party is going to waver on their compromise on the budget again?
No, I do not. We brought it down from 60 to 33. To 40, and I believe that at that point this is the best plan for the government.
Majority Leader Reid has said that his belief is that a government shutdown is the most likely option. Do you agree?
I'm sorry?
Majority Leader Reid said that the government shutdown is the most likely option right now. Do you agree?
It's up to the Democrats at this point.
as you know, Air Force One is a mobile
Everything's annoying. After speaking with the Obama camp, they have said that President Obama would be willing to sacrifice his own paycheck if in the event that the government does shut down. Do you believe that the Republicans will also be willing to sacrifice their paychecks to support the American government or economy?
I have to get back to that.
It's time to work this out as well. So.